All right, guys. Hi, welcome to my video today. My name is Shelly, and I'm sitting here with you with my coffee, and I'm excited to dig into a conversation about true sidereal astrology. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know that my channel has gone through many different phases, and there's been a real attempt to figure out the direction in which not only I want to share my voice, but is most suited for you. What's most helpful for the world outside of me, and what do I truly believe is going to be useful, helpful to the world at large as we go through these changing times. My disclaimer always is I am not a professional astrologer. I don't claim to be. I'm not here to tell you about all the things, but I do understand energy really well. And I feel that it's important that you understand energy because, well, if you're here, you likely already do, but it's important that we continue diving deeper into this conversation and realize that no matter how much we know, there's still so much more that we can know, and that we are being invited to dig deeper into. True Sidereal Astrology, for those of you who may not know when you find yourself here, is reading the planets and the energies as they actually are in the sky in real time. So what that means is if we were to look at what's happening astrologically, or we were to look at our birth charts, we're going to look at the actual positions of the planets in the sky in the moment that we are reading for. So Western tropical astrology does not use the real sky as its way of reading astrology, the planets, our birth charts, aspects, all of those different things. For me, I actually didn't learn about this until about 2 years ago. And I actually have a playlist that you can go and look into where I'm in real time sharing with you the, oh my God, I had no idea that the planets were not where I thought they were. So what this really means is I was very ignorant. I believed that Western astrology was telling the story of the planets in their actual position. So when I found out that it wasn't, I was horrified, because everything that made sense to me about astrology in terms of energy, meaning that when we're born, the position of the planets in the sky, the energy that's coming forward and coming out, and that we're connected to and receiving as we, come out into the world. If those planets are being said to be somewhere that they're not, we're not actually receiving the energy of that planet. Does that make sense? So for most of my time learning about astrology, I believed that I was a Gemini sun and that I had a Libra stellium. So I had been telling the story, even teaching students. I had a small group that I taught how to read birth charts called She Metamorphosis. I was teaching and believed that when I was born and I came out, the sun was in Gemini, when in actuality, the sun was in Taurus, if you looked at the sky in the real position. So I had this kind of like mind altering experience where I'm like, holy crap, no wonder I've been really disconnected to astrology, and I've never fully been able to dive in. So that's kind of my spiel of how I got here. But what the most important thing that I want to share with you in terms of true sidereal astrology and what it's done for me and many others that I've known is it has helped me and allowed me to create on my actual timeline. So what does that mean? If you're someone here and you're like, what does that actually mean? When I began to look at the planets and realize that, oh, I don't have all these air planets, I actually have earth planets. So connecting and relating to yourself in one way, and then actually realizing it's another way, and having the courage to let go of that other way, right? Because we become, especially in the astrology world, we become linked to our identity, and we'll be like, oh, I'm a Gemini, or I'm a Leo, or I'm a Cancer. And we can sometimes glorify our placements and become really attached to them, or feel special by our placements, when the truth is there is no special placements. They're all special. There's gifts in each one of them. But our persona and identity can become so wrapped up in it that it's very difficult. And a lot of people, when they hear about true sidereal astrology, completely reject it. And in my opinion, I believe it's because they're afraid to lose some of those things that they believe make them special. Even though if you look at your new placements, you're going to find even more things that are pretty darn cool and make you quote unquote special, but maybe not in the way that you thought you were, if that makes sense. Okay. So when I converted, and I call it a conversion because it is, right? If you're going from Western tropical astrology and you're saying, hey, this doesn't make sense to me anymore, I don't want to follow a system that isn't actually reading the real-time placement of the planets. And to me, and this is just my opinion, I'm not here to argue whether Western astrology is correct or not. I'm here to share how I see this and how I experience it. I'm not here to fight you on anything. If you want to fight, most of you don't want to fight. You're here because you know there's something to this. But what was I going to say? Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. I got into like the disclaimer part of of this, of, I'm not here to convince you. Oh, the thing is, with true sidereal astrology and understanding where the planets actually are, what happens is you understand what energies are actually at play and that you're working with. So one of the big ones is everybody's talking about how Uranus is going into Gemini, how Pluto has made its way from Capricorn into Aquarius, and everybody's like, we're ready for the new world, this Aquarian energy. But actually, if you look in the sky, we still have quite a bit of time before Pluto makes that actual transition into the real constellation of Aquarius. So I feel like what I want this channel to be about is to really have us think and maybe dive deeper into what astrology means to us. Like, what does it mean to you? Does it mean, oh, I'm into this type of astrology, Vedic, Western, and I connect to it, I'm committed to it, so therefore I choose it? Or do we have this more open perspective of, for me, and I'll share with you my perspective, astrology for me is the planets have an effect on the world. The sun, the moon, the energies of each planet have an effect. And they're affecting me right now in this moment. They've affected me when I've been born, at every different phase. And in the future, they're going to continue to affect me. So the energies that are coming in, it's important that I'm reading them where they actually are and not based off a system. For me, in my head, how I kind of make sense of this, I also look at something like this as organized religion, right? Western tropical astrology, from what I know, and again, don't quote me on anything, but I've heard this, was created by a man named Ptolemy. And he knew that changing, this is like 2,000 years ago too, changing the way that they're reading the sky from the real-time position into a seasonal type of reading would eventually change the planets and the alignment. So in some ways, it has to be considered that possibly this whole thing was set up to control on some level, and maybe not from a bad perspective, but to keep things more in the box and more predictable. So, just something to think about. In terms of what's happening currently in the sky, we're going to hear a lot about Aries. Aries. And the sun is about to go into Aries, but we've actually been in Pisces. There's been so much Pisces energy happening. So my question to you watching this is, Has life felt a little weird lately? Have you felt a little all over the place, or that things maybe aren't tangibly coming together? For myself, I've noticed that in the last couple days, things have been really coming in and anchoring. That Aries energy is starting to become present. But imagine, like, all of these people who believe in astrology, which is a mass amount of people. It's actually quite astonishing how many people believe in their charts, or, you know, will make decisions even based on, oh, this is what's happening, right? If we believe all of this energy is in Aries and we're supposed to be building and moving, when actually we're like really quite in this subjective, psychic, woo kind of zone, it's very likely that we're going to end up miscreating or pushing forward in things that we're going to have to actually backtrack from. So I'm really interested in this channel in comparing the energies and having us even look at the parallels between what most people over here in Western astrology, North America, okay, this is the main guy over here, are believing, following, working by, and what we're actually experiencing. I do believe, and mark my words, you can I'm creating a prediction that probably in 5 to 7 years, Western astrology is going to be down here, and True Sidereal is going to be up here. There's a movement happening, and people are going to be resistant because, like I said, they're locked into that identity, right? If you've been an astrologer studying a certain way, to change it, you have to take a risk. To change, even, you know, I see YouTube people out there who've heard of the 13 moon system or True Sidereal, and they're like, I just don't buy it. And what don't you buy is my question to those people. And I don't really actually want to have that conversation because I get it. You do understand it, you just don't want to, and that is your absolute right. But as we begin to watch what's unfolding in the world, and we watch the unrest continue, and we watch things like it's not done, it's going to continue. I say in my other videos, you'll see I go, 10, 15 years, we're going to have some pretty major and terrible things occur in our world, and they are occurring in our world. They have to actually occur for us to create new systems and to create a new way of being. So I thought originally, when I decided to take my channel in this direction, that I'll go off Athen. So Athen is a man who has a channel called Mastering the Zodiac. It's amazing. I really advise everybody who wants to dive into True Sidereal Astrology to check out his channel. He has a free chart calculator where you can put in your birth information and find out where the planets actually were when you were born. It's amazing. And I thought he does a weekly reading on Sunday, and that I would dissect it and come on, because who needs to reinvent the wheel? That's silly. But as I get going with this, I'm not sure if that's going to be exactly what it is, right? I know that we just had that new moon in Pisces, and that we're still kind of coming off of that new moon and into building and something practical. The sun is about to go into Aries, which means we're going to be in go time. So I think that's important to know. But for many of us, and what this video is about today, is just anchoring deeper into why this is important, why True Sidereal Astrology is the way. And again, I'm not trying to convince anyone, but I'm here for those who get it and are like, oh my gosh, like I totally get this. Now, when I shared videos a couple years ago, I got the question where someone's asking me, like, is Western astrology still valid? And perhaps this is about, True Sidereal is about the soul, and Western is about, the daily life. Sure, you can look at it that way, but that makes no sense to me personally, because we are souls here on planet Earth, and our job, in my opinion, and from what I've learned and what I feel into is truth, is to express the soul here. So it makes no sense that we buy into the quote unquote programmed reality of what we're told it should be. We're here to do what it is. So for me, do I look at my Western placements at all? I don't touch them. I haven't looked at them. I never will look at them. I understand that they're there and that I could go there anytime, but I also understand energetic entanglement. And that is something that I've seen and I've experienced in my life. When we try to dabble too much in one, and then we want to go over here into another, it's going to be very hard to ground anything into your physical reality. Now, I also am Sun and Mercury conjunct Taurus in the 8th house. So I'm stubborn and when I commit to something, I'm committed. I'm not budging. I'm not going to go, right? That doesn't mean I'm not going to experience transformation. I'm not going to experience, things that I need to on my path. But it means that when I know something's right for me, I'm in and I'm stuck and I'm not moving. So that's what I have to say about that. Is there a place for both? I mean, you do you, but in my opinion, it's going to create a mess. And this life and even this channel is about supporting you in building the life that you're here to build. And you already have. Nothing you've done before is wrong. But once you anchor into your true placements, I'm telling you, like everything seems to come together. And that seeming to come together doesn't mean everything's easy. You're going to experience hard things too, because what needs to go away will have to go away when you're in true alignment to who you are and what you are. So it's not this beautiful picture of everything comes together and love and light. No, some of it's hard, but it's worth it because what you're building is authentic in here. So that is my video today. Thank you so much. I plan on recording weekly videos. So if you like this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, check out my playlist of my awakening to True Sidereal Astrology. I love watching those videos because I really did capture in real time this awakening to True Sidereal Astrology and what it meant for me. And hopefully it inspires you and activates things inside of you. And thank you. Bye.